Hey, what's up, everybody? Here we are. Since we've been doing these from home or whatever with the video, this might be the third one. So welcome to the third video version of Talking Shit Live. And we've got, here, let's bring in Justin real quick. Hey, Justin, what's happening?
What's happening? How you doing?
Good, man. You're down at the shop, I see.
Yep. Decided to come down here, better internet connection, cool stuff behind me, so.
Yeah. See, we're getting all pro. We're getting better internet connection.
Yeah.
We've got earbuds, earphones now. Playing around with the multi-screen thing. Let's see if I can throw that up there again. I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, there we go. So nice. That's why don't you talk about that for a second?
Me? Yeah. So that is, I put out 2 Roic records this summer. One was a split with a band called Life Wants to Flourish here from OC. And I actually just, that's supposed to come in 2 weeks. And I just finished up the insert for that. But this one I actually started later, but got the release earlier. So this is the second cover, or actually the third Roic 12-inch. And but the second one put out this year, and I went to an art show of Brian's, and he's helped out with the Clusterfucks and Ross Trotter and whatnot. But I saw that piece of artwork at a show, and I was like, "Holy shit, that has to be the cover of the record." That's just as soon as I was sitting at home, and I'm like, "Oh man, I need a cover that." And that piece already sits and hangs in my room. I have like a little square, like a 3x3 of it, or a 4x4 card
print of it or whatever.
Yeah, and it sat in my room, and I was thinking, like, what should I use for the cover? I looked up at that, and I was like, oh yeah, obviously that is so cool. So I hit Brian up, and he was like, yeah, dude. So yeah.
So let's bring him in. That's perfect introduction here. So Brian was like, oh yeah, dude.
He was like, yeah, dude. How's it going, Brian?
Good. Thank you guys for having me.
You bet, man. So tell us about this piece of art, Brian. What's the story behind it? It's pretty intense, man.
Yeah. So as you can see, it's right there, and it's big. It's like, well, it's big.
That's right.
So it was for a show. It was for last Halloween, not this previous one, but the one before that. True Brewing here in Denver wanted to have they needed like a Halloween show up, and a few things just kind of fell into place, and they're like, can you get some pieces? I said, yeah, I'm kind of working on something. They're like, well, it's in like 2 weeks, and I was like, so I turned and burned on that one, but I had this concept, and it's actually a very political piece. So that one is called that one. Sorry. That one's called Black Swords of Extinction, and it's basically 2 world leaders trying to kill each other with black swords, and the swords are nuclear weapons. And then there are 4 smaller 12x12 pieces, kind of in that same gold, and it's actually the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. So yeah, positive stuff.
Hell yeah. Yeah, that art show was amazing at Tui's that you had. That blew my mind away. There's some really cool pieces throughout.
Yeah, the Tui's is awesome. They're kind of a women run. They do like badass like Celtic Frost drink nights, and there's cool stuff. And I love everyone who works there, and it's cool that they activated their stage, and they're pre-pandemic. They were starting to do shows and like arts and crafts things, and just a little bit of everything. A lot of like them and True Brewing both doing a lot of like good outreach to our little community here, which is awesome.
Yeah,
that's really cool. Yeah.
Hey, I had one quick question. We were talking about it right before we started this. Your shirt, you said did you just print one, or is that something you can buy now, like a Ghostworks shirt, or is it just you only have the one and it's yours?
I am a complete hoe, and everything I do is for sale, including this. Yeah, I have a web store, which
Nice.
we'll get to. But yeah, I just wanted to do something like real metal, and have this kind of like stoner whatever dude on here, and yeah, it's actually pretty soft. I've watched this a few times, and yeah, no complaints. So
Cool. So go to the web store, huh?
yeah, you can get all kinds of stuff. And I have a new painting to reveal sometime later tonight, and then that will also be on the web store. So
Cool.
yeah, it's a working artist kind of stuff. You guys know you run a record store, so always promoting.
There, I changed the ticker, man. It says brain.
Brain.
It's a drum. It's a drum from Iron Maiden.
That's I'm Nico, huh?
All right, I gotta fix that. Let's use the edit.
Yeah,
button
you're right.
here.
It's fine. Yeah. We're good.
All right, we're back in action. Look at that.
Woohoo.
Perfect.
Editing on the fly there, brain.
That's how it works.
When we open that corner there, we got Pinky.
Yosh and Yeston. What's that?
All right. Before we dive completely in, I got a few things I want to show. Couple records I've been listening to this week.
Yeah.
First one being this Fast Plants Grosso 7-inch.
Oh,
back
that's
with-
the logo. Nice.
Yeah, back with Super Stoked. It's on yellow vinyl. And obviously the song Grosso and the cover, the picture of Jeff Grosso there, a ode to the professional skateboarder Jeff Grosso that passed away this summer.
Right.
All the profits from this 7-inch go to skateboard related charities and whatnot. So this was put out on Not Like You Records, and there's also the Not Like You zine. But they've been putting out some cool stuff over the last couple of years. But yeah, just wanted to highlight that there's a glare on it, but that bad boy real quick. This record, Seized Up.
There you go. Oh,
How's that?
slant it down.
There you
Keep
go.
going. There it goes. Perfect.
Seized Up. This is on like some sort of puke, green, brown diarrhea vinyl.
Yes.
But this is definitely for fans of Blast. So this is like dark, thick, hardcore with Clifford from Blast on vocals, and it's really cool. The whole band is made up of guys from Good Riddance, Fast Asleep. Even one of them did some time in the Distillers. Even
I gave Clifford a bunch of weed candy when Blast was in Denver.
yeah. So you gave Clifford a bunch of weed candy, and if you look at that picture of me and Clifford.
Oh, he's in outer space.
Yeah, he is out there. And then I was all super bummed because I was always a huge Blast fan. It was the first time I got to see Blast, and getting ready to talk to Clifford, and he can't even speak. He's just
Is it like 62%? Like,
yeah, he was out there. But that's a great record. I love it. And this record's been getting a lot of hype, a lot of press. But I don't care. I'm gonna hype it and give it some press right now too, man.
yeah.
There.
There you go.
Power up.
Power up.
Yeah, this is the best ACDC album.
It's better than Black Ice by far.
It's way better than Black Ice, better than Rock or Bust. I finally came to the conclusion today that it's better than Ball Breaker.
All right.
Which I love Ball Breaker, and I'm throwing it out there. I'm saying it's better than Razor's Edge. Even though Razor's Edge was that huge album, but that's part of my problem with Razor's Edge. That listen to the money talk. Would prefer to not listen to that song again.
Oh, but there's not really like a thunderstruck on the new record, or do you think there is?
There's better stuff, man. Some of the riffs on there. Yeah, okay. There's no thunderstruck, but there's no fucking Mistress for Christmas either. Like, yeah.
Well, I'll always maintain that high voltage is where it's at.
Yeah, great. Well,
Yeah.
So I prefer. A lot of people prefer Bon Scott over Brian Johnson.
I think they're both good.
All right, cool. I
like
go
them
with
both
that.
too. Both have their qualities in that band for sure.
My favorite AC/DC album though is Flick of the Switch.
Really?
Super underrated.
Huh.
Killer album. I love that album. And if you want to, is AC/DC rock and roll or the heavy metal, that's probably one of their more metal albums, especially like production wise. That time. But yeah, I love that album. So that's some of the stuff that AC/DC record, man.
Oh, I know one that you forgot.
What?
We were chit-chatting about that new Benediction.
Oh
yeah.
The new Benediction is sick. That is definitely on my list of top albums for the year.
And it's solid all the way through. It's like, man, you just want to crank it.
And it came out it came out the same week as the vinyl version of the new Napalm Death.
Right.
And in my little world, it kind of smothered the Napalm Death. I haven't given the Napalm Death nearly as many spins as I've given that Benediction.
I would concur. And and I love Napalm Death. I love everything. I love how innovative they are, and they're fucking awesome live. But sometimes you just need less wank and more crank.
True words have never been spoken. That was amazing.
So on that, I'm never really very good at putting together year-end lists, but I threw one together today.
Right.
I'll bounce it off you guys.
Shit.
Let's hear it.
I've got Drain, California Cursed. That record freaking rips. It's the number one selling record in the shop of the year.
Wow.
Benediction Scriptures, Paradise Lost, Obsidian.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Paradise Lost has been on a roll for like the last 3 albums are spectacular.
Oh yeah. Good stuff.
And at least 2 of the last 3 have made it into Decibel's year-end list.
Yeah, that decibel list is very interesting, by the way. There's Denver bands on there.
Yeah, it's awesome to see Denver bands on there. Was it last year? Blood Incantation had the number 1 spot.
And they're well deserved.
Yeah.
Dreadnought. This year it's In Company of Serpents. And what other Denver band got it?
Their album just came out.
Is it Feather Bone?
Yeah, there you go. Feather and Bone.
Feather and Bone just came out. But my album of the year happens to be Denver guys. That new Wayfarer album fucking rules.
Yeah, people. Every couple of days, someone will message the shop and ask about when the vinyl comes out. I meant to look it up for this show, but I think the vinyl comes out December 7th. I know it's in December.
Yeah, it's like a Profound Lore thing. I looked at it. It looks cool.
I've got 2 more that kind of round out my list so far. Yeah. The Napalm Death. It made my list, although I do think that the Benediction tops it. And I think this album came out this year. I should have looked it up. The Wraith Gloom Ballet.
Oh yeah. It's like a real like peace punk looking cover.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's like peace punk looking cover. This is Los Angeles death rock.
Yeah, but it's a Southern Lord release, so it's like burly.
Yeah.
It's a good record. Yeah, that's a cool record.
Yeah, I like it. It's not just so like, how like a lot of that post punk dark wave stuff, it's like, all right, we're gonna have. It just doesn't feel very full, and they're just really relying on those old bass leads, which I love. Yeah. But man, the Wraith just sounds just put together, Yeah. Like they didn't forget their punk roots, but still dark.
Yeah, it's a good. Yeah, you're right. It has like a good punk recording like that. It's nice and thick and but it's still total like, you know, it's
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
good
It's
record,
like Justin's into a lot of the newer post-punk, death rock, dark wave stuff, and I don't like a lot of it because, to me, a lot of it is very rehashed, and there's not a lot of I don't want to say effort, but it's not real inspiring. But I really find that the Wraith moving forward while still playing homage to the roots. I mean, I hear like Change Today, TSOL in it, and Rudimentary Peni, and like there's a lot of really cool stuff going on in that record. It's not just some dude trying to sound like Sisters of Mercy.
Right.
That's where a lot of those bands, to me anyway, and that's where you all kind of, everybody has their own thing, but a lot of those dudes just go rah, 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 trying to. Yeah, there you go.
Well, and the funny thing is, a lot of those early kind of dark punk, death rock kind of stuff, they had like kind of a weird factor to them. Like, I think you had to be like kind of a little off kilter just to join the damn band. And so but a lot of the new stuff it's just sounds like musicians, and it's not sort of like, it doesn't have that weird vision to it. You know, like Killing Joke, there's nobody like them, you know, and
Right.
or not a big fan, but like Christian Death are freaking weird, or, you know, Birthday Party, any of that kind of stuff is hell, even
you
Fear, really.
listen
It's
to, like Susie, like, you know, Susie and the Banshees, as soon as you hear it, they had their own weird songs that were like barely riffs and just be like weird drums and her kind of singing, and you know, and nobody goes arty like that, you know, anymore, barely at all.
Well, and even with the Creatures stuff, they were like, okay, we're just going to do this like real heavy rhythm kind of stuff, and then Susie doing her thing, and I really like that stuff too. It's just it's just kind of like a different tack on.
So funny story, real quick. I was in I was on tour with Weathered Statues, and we were playing somewhere in the Midwest. I don't remember, but this guy was there, and he's like, "Oh, you know, I'm playing drums in a band. Obviously, like that kind of sounds like Susie, you know." And so he asked me. I heard him and Jason Heller talking about Budgie, the drummer from Susie and the Banshees. I was all fucked up and being kind of a dick. I'm like, whatever, Metallica plays it way better. Dude, they looked at me like I was a steaming pile of poop. It was hilarious.
You broke down their wall of gloom.
I'm going to throw this picture up real quick. Who is that? This one's been making the rounds on the Facebook the last couple days. Who's this?
Oh, it's Slayer, right?
Yeah, it's Slayer.
God, he's got you know what?
What gives it away is Jeff Henneman's butt in the red spandex. Look at that. That's Henneman's ass.
It's so tight.
No, it's the Loverboy album.
Yeah. So this looks like my junior high or high school. You know, you got all these people. Maybe this is the show or something. Like all these dudes are like, yeah, they're all like, what the fuck? Except this guy right here. Look at, he's in his Ozzy Osbourne Iron Madman shirt. He knows what's up.
He's the one guy. Everybody else is like, the girls are dressed up nice. That's amazing.
Yeah, this girl is dressed like this girl I remember named Holly.
That's her.
I wonder where that's at. Like Fenders or something?
I don't know the exact.
I'm gonna guess it's like it.
That looks like a Grange Hall or some shit.
I was guessing it was like their high school auditorium or something.
Oh yeah,
like the talent show. Oh, we got a band. Can we play?
Yeah, talent show for sure.
There's a book out.
Chemical Warfare.
And it's all tinny and weird sounding. Yeah, you know that they even when Hell Awaits came out, they got this dude. Well, I think it was either Jeff or Dave. One of them worked at like Kmart or something. Like seriously, and they were like, "Hey, we got to get this guy to do our album art." And so he ended up going to, like, the artist went to like Omni magazine or some, you know, sci-fi something or another, and like got this picture of these like demon looking things, and then basically just like used that as the shell, drew it, and then did this weird background. So that's why, you know, like I know Slayer are like this huge, you know, international band, but I love the idea that they're just normal dudes who work at Kmart. So.
Yeah.
Dude, one of my, I don't want to go in, you know, turn it into the Slayer show, which is easy to do. But one of my favorite Slayer stories is at one of their first tours. They toured in a Camaro, pulling a U-Haul.
Chaos UK did that.
Did they? I mean, I can just see these, you know, like it's like 1982, 83, these fucking long-haired dudes in their Camaro, barreling up the I-5, whatever.
That is literally the most Hessian thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, that is fucking cool, man.
Yeah. Oh, well,
you're not in a true metal band if you don't tour at least once in a Camaro. All right, I'm gonna throw another one up here.
All right.
Boom. Tell me about this one. This is one of your pieces. This is one of the ones that I went through a bunch of your stuff, and like I said, I just picked out a couple that kind of resonated with me, and I thought this one was really freaking cool.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you. This is actually a Sharpie, just ugly sketchbook doodle kind of thing. I have this weird sort of like fascination with you know, dead languages and dead religions, and so it's this sort of like totem, some death totem kind of thing. You know, I was like, okay, we're gonna try to incorporate as many bones and little amulets and stuff. You know, real crust punk shit. And so
yeah, this reminds me of like, you know, Conan stumbles into the Pict village or something, and this is like stuck outside the shaman's hut. You know?
Oh yeah, it totally is. Yeah, it's like Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
and Conan. Yeah, just anything like that is. And it shows up a lot. Like when I'm not doing my other things, it's sort of like my go-to. Like, how do we make some weird death thing? And I was even mentioning to a very close friend of mine the other day about like there's these scenes in that show Vikings, and like the show's great, but these ritual scenes. They're so like ornate and elaborate, and with like these like, you know, bones and like streams of blood and shit. And I thought that'd be really cool to just like splice out all those and put them together and then put like a cool soundtrack on top of it. Just some YouTube stupid thing.
yeah.
But yeah, really, really cool stuff. Yeah, I'm very much drawn to that kind of neo-tribal weird stuff. So
Yeah, that piece is really cool, man. It'd make a dark tattoo, but it would make a really cool tattoo.
Yeah, I think you're right. Thank you.
All right, where did I do with my file? There it is. This one is definitely in a different style, and
it is a different style. There it goes.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot going on in this one, man.
Yeah,
really cool.
I'm actually on the other side. Here, I'll just show you. There it is on my wall.
Whoops, hang on. I was trying to make you big, but then I lost you.
Oh yeah, very cool.
Oh, there it is.
I'm fucking up here. I was trying to
make him
I don't know
name.
where is everybody here? Whoever's watching's getting like car sick.
We're super winging it.
I need some Dramamine to do the podcast.
I gotta throw that back up there. Talk us through this one a little bit, though.
All right. So this,
like, there's the face right here.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
And then there's a Roman numerals for 2020.
Oh, okay.
So MMXX, and let's see what else do we got going on.
Some eyeballs over here.
Eyeballs and like.
What is this? There's some sort of shape right here.
Oh yeah, that's the calligraphic stuff that I do with like a flat brush. It kind of looks like writing. But
Yeah.
got that in there. So this is sort of like a Nick Blinko worship.
Yeah.
That's why, because you got the bat wings and the hand and all this kind of just creepy stuff. It's sort of my homage to the master. So
Nice. I was gonna say it reminded me a little bit of Nick Blinko for sure. The crosses in the sky and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's sperm.
And like the weird eggs or sperm or whatever.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that. Yeah, check that out.
Yeah.
Very cool.
There's a lot going on here. You can stare at this one for a while.
Yeah. So yeah, Nick Blinko. He can do no wrong. So
Yeah, I have a Nick Blinko
Second
tattoo.
rudimentary.
Like the easiest little drawing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have behind your ear.
Yeah, his shit's so crazy, and I was like, I went like the most basic, like little guy.
Yep.
So that's the third rudimentary penile reference of the evening, if anybody's counting.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Well, yeah. Well, fourth, I guess, if you count Justin's tattoo behind his ear.
I guess he's omnipresent.
All right, I've got one more right here.
All right.
This one, some folks might recognize. Share screen. Here we go. And again, each one I picked out was a little bit different in style, so that's why I selected the ones that I did.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So Misery Mother Nature. This was originally sort of like a I don't know. It was like a commission. And then they did this sort of like benefit shirt or whatever their sort of funding sort of wish was for that. Adam from Night Gaunt was the screen printer on that, and he does like killer stuff for like Sleep, Deviant Instinct, Skaven, all kinds of cool stuff. But he did the one for Misery, and that was actually, it looks like a one color shirt, but it's actually a two color. There's like a white and a gray.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And as it were, there's a new release that's coming out. Well, actually, it's a re-release of Misery's Where the Sun Doesn't Shine album. Yeah. So, but there's like a fuck ton of stuff going into it. It's like a photo booklet and this as a poster, like a large size 6-panel A5 or whatever the sizing is. Yeah, they just put a ton of stuff in there. There's like a alternate. I don't know. It's a crazy release.
Yeah, I was pretty excited to hear about that. That's probably my favorite Misery album.
Yeah, that one's real. I'm still a Production Through Destruction dude, but yeah, but they're cool. And did you went to that show when they played it?
No, that was like that was back when you didn't have the internet, and so if you didn't know right away, you didn't know. And I had already made plans for this trip to Phoenix, and yeah, I was leaving for Phoenix.
Were you guys still up in Carbondale, or
no? We're down here.
All right. Yeah, because that was quite a while ago. I have some photos from that, but it was like them, Extinction of Mankind, and Catheter.
At the spot.
So yeah, loud show.
Yep. They hit the spot.
It did. Oh, you know who got hit? I haven't talked to him in many years, but I have this photo of Mike Martinez, and somebody just bashed him in the pit, and he has this like white shirt on. It's just like covered in blood, but he's smiling. It's the funniest photo. He's like, "Hey."
He got spotted.
He did. He totally got spotted. But yeah.
Hey Justin, you want to throw up your surprise attack there?
My surprise attack?
Yeah.
I have this.
Because this would be the first part of Brian's artwork that when I was thinking back earlier, what's his earliest artwork I can remember? And it would be this.
So I was in Up Yours, and I had to make the record cover for up here 7 inches. And when I asked the Flux of Disorder guys to give me their stuff, they just gave me this drawing. And so I still have the original drawing.
You have the original.
Yeah. And so it still has like this white spot over here is actually whiteout.
Ah, there it is.
Yeah. And so I had to put the logo on it and go photocopy it. But like if you look at this is all like magic marker and this is whiteout in here where you like fucked up and then like put it back. Yeah, and I still have like the little cover sheet that came with it and everything.
Here, throw that back up there. I figured out how to zero in on you guys. Yeah, that's cool. That's the earliest piece of Brian artwork I can remember, and then from there.
So there's the up yours side.
Here, let me.
So it's punk as fuck, and then this side, which is photocopy because it's proper punk rock.
Heck yeah!
Hell yeah, dude!
Hey, Andy Lefton's watching. He just chimed in.
He did.
What's up, Andy? Andy said original Flux art. Nice. Before that, he said, "What's up, old friends?" Hey, Andy, what's happening, dude? I got there we go.
I got a few. I got.
Oh yeah. So let's throw that one up there real quick.
Rock Strider.
So there's that one.
Yeah, I got that one with me too. Yeah, that was kind of an early one, and this triangle thing I ended up having to do separately because I messed it up. So it's like it's pasted on there.
Oh, really? We were just talking about
cool.
We were just talking about old school art where it wasn't all done on the computer, where you like screw something up, draw it on another sheet of paper, cut it out, tape it on the original, shit like that.
That's exactly how I did that.
Throw that Rotstrotter one up. I'm getting all crazy with the solo layout, as they call it.
So this one, we were in a band called World Pain, and Val was in the band, and Val was like, dude, we got to get Brian to draw us a cover. So he did. And then the band broke up. So I was like, Brian, can we use that for a different band? He's like, sure.
Yeah. And I was like, you better ask Val.
Yeah, that's a vicious looking piece, man. It's killer.
Rito from SMD, the drummer, has this tattooed on his wrist now because of this record.
He does. I was pretty flattered. Yeah, always kind of a cool thing. And actually I have a friend of mine. I'm doing a tattoo for him, and if he ever sees this, I'm sorry. I apologize for not getting back to you. But yeah, I'm working on a tattoo for him. He's gonna do a little leg thing, which I don't normally do, but yeah, sometimes you just kind of want to be immortalized in flesh.
Yeah. So you've got a stack of records there, right, Brian?
I do.
And is it stuff that you did the album covers for?
All of them.
Yeah, let's start throwing some of those up there, man.
It's show and tell, kids.
Yeah.
So
now that we figured out the solo layout function, we can get you up there. Look at that.
So Flux of Disorder, up yours. We already talked about that. Flux of Disorder, Hanging Angel, kind of grim stuff. Armistice on the back, not my art. Shit, where do we go? Do you want to go chronologically or just how I have it?
However you want to do it.
I'm just gonna do how I have it because I'm not that organized. Valenfire.
Oh yeah.
Then on
so
the back,
you did a couple pieces for them, didn't you?
Yeah, and yeah. So that's a really long story. It kind of involves a lot of different people, and then side bands and post Valenfire bands. In fact, that's one of the post Valenfire bands, Godthrim. Did I do anything else for that? No. So yeah, with my piece, The Mask. Anyway, that's the guitarist from Valenfire. He used to be Hamish. He used to be in My Dying Bride. And then can't not put this up. 29th Street Disciples. Yeah,
I didn't know if you did that.
I did that. I wasn't really going to talk about it tonight, but yeah. So as we all know, Eli was a good friend of ours. He's a very good friend of mine, and he passed on earlier this summer. And so a little homage to the man.
Very cool.
Yeah. Let's see, what else do we got? War Plague.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
You got Andy's watching. That's Andy Lefton's band. Well, Flux of Disorder was too, obviously, with most recent affair.
Hey,
Right.
Hey, Brian. So Andy asked you, do you still have the Dead State art?
I think I either have the art or I have the preliminary sketch for it. I have a bin, and it has probably about 20 sketchbooks in it, and it's in one of those. Let's see. Valenfire on Century Media.
Splinters, yeah.
Splinters. That is a nasty, nasty record. If you don't own it,
I love that record. I did the pre-order so I could get the T-shirt with it.
Yeah.
And the T-shirt they sent was like the shittiest, thinnest material, and the screen print was almost sideways. I wore it. I was like, I can't wear this, man.
Well, if this is archived, many members of that band will see this tomorrow, so I'll let them know. These dudes from Pittsburgh, Heartless. This shit is nasty. And I did the whole inside too. Oops.
Oh, sick.
Oh, cool.
That's all the lyrics. Yeah, this is like if you like fast power violence, just death. And really nice guys. Clusterfucks, we already talked about this one. Yeah. So Implore, also on Century Media. I guess I did the inside too. All the layout in the back, everything is me.
That's sick.
Yeah, so I do all the graphic design. These guys are from Germany. Really just angry stuff. Yeah, and I just sent the original artwork to Gabriel, who's in the band, to Germany. So that's cool. That has a good home. Let's see. Lust for Death. French.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh,
I'm not familiar with that one.
You need to hear this. Very, very heavy French stenchcore.
Ooh.
Like, gnarly stuff. And their singer Simon, I'll send you a link to his tattoo work. It's unbelievable. I sometimes wonder, why do you have me doing the album? Your artwork is so good. But yeah, super awesome dude. And yeah, Lust for Death. Try that. Some local stuff. I think everybody should know this band.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
So, Itch.io. Not punk, not metal, I don't really know what they are, but they're awesome. And you haven't lived life until you've been to an Itch.io show.
I agree.
Yeah. Most people probably wouldn't remember it because it kind of encourages extracurricular activities. Afgrund. Oops. Afgrund from Sweden. If you're into really, really angry power violence, this is your band. And that's a really nasty cover. I'm
into the really friendly hugging power violence.
Yeah, you got some dark shit, man. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm into cuddlecore. Yeah, this one I actually
some
had
dark shit, man. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, actually, that's one of the few pieces I didn't hang in my house because like my kids come over, so I didn't want to. I mean, they already have to like deal with this shit. So,
there's like I'll play just about anything, especially when my kids are younger. But I would not play Dystopia with the kids.
No.
That's just way too bummer town, man.
Yeah. Oh yeah. That's like an earworm that gets in kids' brains. You don't want that. And more locals. Call of the Void.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that.
Did you do a couple of those for them?
What's that?
Did you do more than one cover for Call of Void?
I did one cover and like 5 shirts or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought you did a few pieces for them.
Yeah. Like those dudes are super rad, and they're just like just road dogs, you know. So they always needed like merch and stuff, and they had like kind of relapse deal and all that. So what else do I have? Little Swedish kind of like DB rock and roll kind of germ bomb.
I haven't seen that one.
This one, it's kind of obscure. They kind of just hit me up and they're like, "Hey, can we use some artwork on it?" Sure, why not? Yeah, it's really rad. It's on Insane Society Records. It's just, you know, it's Swedish, so it's good. And then probably the latest release, Bleak Heart. It's very blue. Yeah, so this is sort of like I don't even know what you'd call it. It's sort of like a shoegaze, dark, heavy doom, with really, really awesome people in the band. So people from Dreadnought and Vermin Womb, and yeah, one of Denver's best kept secrets. And then, of course, this guy.
The Heroic record, yeah.
Heroic record, and I'm keeping the plastic on because I'm vain. And the back, and there's an insert as well. But yeah,
my daughter took that photo on the back, and she got the photo credit on the back of the album. There, she's pretty stoked.
There she is.
Yeah,
right on. Always good to see your name in credits. So yeah, so that's all the albums.
Did you do that?
3 people on there.
How do I don't want myself big. There we go. Did you do the Unkind album cover?
No.
For some reason I thought you did that Unkind album that was on Southern Lord. I am mistaken.
No. What is it? That scratchy, inky kind of stuff, or?
Yeah.
Oh, really? I haven't seen it.
Maybe I'm way off. It's been a while since I've.
Right.
It's been a long day.
Yeah. It's been a long day. I don't know what I'm talking about. So, I mean, some of the earlier stuff we looked at, we saw some different styles there, and I guess we could kind of tell what you're at least where you are now recently, kind of where your style is. Describe how your style has changed over the years.
Well, I mean, a lot of the kind of like art that I started doing where people started noticing, outside of just drawing on my book covers in high school, or leather jackets, which I actually really used to like doing. I guess I was like the go-to guy in Reno to like paint people's leathers. Yeah, it just, you know, at the time in like the late 80s, 90s, you know, we're all in the same stuff. And, you know, you have Maximum Rock and Roll, and you have Profane Existence, and, you know, Flipside, and all the magazines really. And, you know, by and large, they're black and white. And so all the artwork you did was very, you know, those were meant to be like photographed and printed. So like the artwork was usually pretty simple. And it just kind of lended itself to like, okay, well, I'm learning how to draw things with pen and ink. So I will gravitate towards things where people are drawing in pen and ink. You know, because like I mean, I love album covers, but you know, I'm not Derek Riggs. I'm not gonna whip out some, like rad Iron Maiden thing. I'm gonna do some, you know, skull with wings and sword or whatever. And you know, and punk rock obviously lent itself to that because, you know, every month or like you get, you know, things in the mail and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. So I'll just do that. And you start doing flyers, maybe a t-shirt design. It's all flat, one color. And yeah, and you just sort of like build it up. And then eventually I kind of tinkered with painting a little. I think I've actually only taken one painting class for like a semester. Like I didn't go to art school to learn art. It was for like graphic design. So the style evolved, and so you just get better at painting and you get better at drawing. But I find that a lot of those early album covers that I did with that scratchy pen work, I mean, there's just not a lot of room for error. You know, you're like, I can't change it because then I got to redraw everything. I mean, the look is really cool, but I don't know if I would do that again. I would probably steer someone towards painting or some graphics work or whatever. So and so like my influences will always be, you know, like crust punk stuff, you know, metal, and kind of like that tape trader 80s kind of like, you know, like I love that early like Morbid Angel with like the, you know, and I know it's all stolen from comic books and stuff, but it was just like, it was a cool vibe, and like dripping carcass skulls and stuff, you know. I just love that stuff, and I love that era. Shitty logos. But yeah, and then the new stuff is kind of like a culmination of everything I'm into. So it's sort of like darker things, 70s sci-fi, Art Deco, silent movies, metal. Just a little bit of everything, just kind of all rolled together.
I was gonna say, you did a flyer for Brazil for the what the fuck is the name of the fest? Yeah. And that was really cool flyer. That flyer. That was like a wall hanging flyer. It's cool to see that they had you do that, because that really made the flyer look cool as fuck.
Thanks. You know, it's funny. He and I were actually at Bowman's, and probably having 1 or 5 too many beers. And I actually had my sketchbook with me, and we just sat there, and I just sketched that at the bar with him. So it was kind of, just really kind of honest, you know. can't fake it, because we're
oh, there it is. So. Really throw that up there.
Yeah. So did you hear that? I was telling Josh that's just like me in Brazil sitting at the bar.
That's awesome.
So we got a question here. We get a sneak peek into any current projects, and you said you were going to show something off tonight, but then there's another question here. Well, where'd it go? The hell? It'd be really cool to find out what past project was one of his most personal or his favorite.
Oh, gosh. Well, I like all the stuff I do for bands a lot, just because it's one of those things where you kind of have to push yourself a little bit harder. I mean, you guys know this as musicians, because somebody's going to see it, and you want to put your best foot forward. I mean, honestly, a lot of the stuff that I post is kind of like the final, but I paint over canvases all the time. I throw things in the trash. I scribble on it. It's so frustrating, but that's how you learn. So don't take the easy route. So with some bands, they're very sort of visionary about what they want. Yeah. And they come to you because they say, okay, well, I know you have the style, and so recommends you, and but then trying to just sort of like navigate their personalities and their sort of like expectations, I guess, with what I can do and like the pressure I put on myself. I think almost every band I've worked with has kind of pushed me. So I know that's kind of a generic thing, but you just don't want to let other people down. Yeah. And in doing that, you let yourself down because you didn't work hard enough. You didn't try hard enough. You didn't stay up a little later to just really do something rad that, you know, X amount of people are going to see and maybe want a t-shirt of, and you don't want something that you don't like out there. Although there's plenty of stuff out there I don't like.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I was going to ask you about that. It's like, say they with writing music, I mean, like, oh, why did we do that song or do that song that way?
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where, you know, you love the idea of like, man, they're young and raw and kick ass, and you're like, yeah, but they didn't really know how to play, and then trying to like duplicate that like fury, you know, it's like that's not going to happen. Well, I wouldn't say it's not going to happen. It's very hard.
So
I'm an optimist.
one time I was talking to you about your art, and you were saying, or your paintings, and you were saying that, like when you see that series, that you will paint and then paint over it and just like keep going and you'll just make multiple pieces, and keep painting and painting and painting on them. That's right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. There's never a one and done around this place. Never. Like any of this stuff has been like worked over several times. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Blair just commented here, and I was just thinking the same. He was saying that sorry about getting kicked out of art class. He said, this inspires me hard right now. I've been on a writer art block for months. About to bust out a sketchbook right now. Do it, Blair. Do it.
Do it.
And
Honestly,
Heather
like,
Jacobs says, tell Brian I say hi, by the way.
Hi, Heather.
You know, and I was just looking through the comments. I think Val was on here somewhere.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
He said,
I saw him.
"This is
He has
awesome."
a weird
Oh,
name.
yeah.
Oh, yes, Valton.
So what's the surprise you have for us?
Oh, okay. So, all right. So sometimes when it's like the pandemic and you don't really get out of your house a whole lot, you kind of just like live in your head a little bit too much. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do like a multifaceted thing. So, all right. So this one, I don't even know where I'm going to put this.
Yeah.
Oh,
What the fuck?
Dude, that's sick,
Right.
Yeah,
man.
that's great.
all right. So this one's called Forged in the Fire. So do you get the cheekiness of this?
I don't know.
I
All right. So this is like Metallica work.
Yeah, I was gonna say Metallica jump in the fire.
Oh, it is
So-
the Cyclops. Yeah.
It is. It completely is.
So is that
Okay,
that like
so-
lightning bolt type thing back there is like the Metallica font?
Correct. I'm loving this.
Oh, yeah.
boy. And okay, so yeah, it's total Metallica worship. But then I thought we got to make it geekier. So I changed the demon looking dude to a Cyclops.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So here's where this gets a little off. So not only is it Metallica worship, but there's a Cyclops, and the Cyclops in Greek mythology used to live under Mount Etna and in
That's my
Sicily.
insurance company.
Right. And they used to forge lightning bolts for Zeus.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Wow.
So that's extra nerdy.
Dude, there's
That's-
fucking layers there, dude.
It's still an active volcano still.
Yeah. So it's just meant to be a fun, goofy, thing.
Very cool.
Yeah. So yeah, and that's I got prints and everything ready to go. So
Wow, that's really freaking cool, man.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of what else I have. I don't know. I'm sure I have something. So anyway, carry on.
So hey, let me ask you, how'd you you mentioned earlier, like, I didn't go to art school for art, I went for graphic design. Is that what you said?
Yep.
And so
Yeah.
that's how you ended up in Colorado, right?
Yeah. So well, my original choices were going to be Savannah College of Art and Design or Minneapolis College of Art and Design, both of which I couldn't afford. So I ended up like looking around at other places, and I thought, oh, well, maybe Denver's cool. And I looked at Pittsburgh and like Redlands, California, and Tempe, Arizona. But Denver just kind of worked out, so I moved here in August of '94 to go for graphic design. But there's a fine arts program, an illustration program, and then and interior design and sculpture and stuff. And we were, did you guys ever go to the old house like on like Evans? That old apartment I had?
I don't think so.
It was gross. And
sounds right.
I think we paid like $580 or something a month. And originally it was 3 of us and then 2. But that seemed to be like party central. Well, other than like the 13th Street house, but 94.
Dude, I do think I remember being down there. I remember being on some punk rock party pad down in the Evans area.
Yeah, there were a couple, and then Brian. Remember Brian from Pittsburgh? He actually lived in the same apartment building as me, and so it was sort of just like, oh, let's all just go down south and be stupid. So, geez. But yeah, fun times. But yeah, that's why I went to school for graphic design, but ended up like now, like I do it for a living, but I like painting more. So what can you do?
Val's asking if you've done a lot of band logos, and you did redo the Clusterflux logo for us. What other band logos have you done?
Well, Flux of Disorder. What else do I have? Most everybody comes to me with a logo. So
I think you killed Josh.
I'm dying for you. What was Kyle's band? You know Kyle from California? I did hit a band logo for him. State of Defiance.
Defiance. Remember the guitar player in Bang Tango? His name was Kyle.
That's redundant. And the parents were just like, Kyle.
Kyle. Dude, one Kyle's bad enough. Double Kyle.
Yeah, better be careful of that middle name, however.
Is Carl.
Stop.
No, that would be bad.
No, I imagine that was just some stupid stage name.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. But
yeah, not like Vinny Vincent.
Also redundant.
Chris Christopherson.
Black and Blue, Jamie St. James.
What?
Also redundant. Black and Blue were a cool band, though.
Oh, Black and Blue was rad. Auto Blast.
Weren't they like a Gene Simmons product?
Yeah. And then he had, I don't know how we got on this, Steve Stevens from Billy Idol.
Oh, that's right. You know,
you're talking, yeah.
He's still with him.
Yeah.
Oh man, Billy Idol. Actually, I think I like Billy Idol more than Gen X, but I appreciate the catchiness of Gen X.
I probably like Billy Idol more than Gen X too.
Yeah.
Justin, where do you weigh in on Billy Idol solo versus Gen X?
Well,
Generation X.
To talk about Billy Idol solo, you have to bring up who you were just talking about, Steve Stevens, because he said, I read a thing or heard a thing that was saying that when those two decided that they're like, let's start a band, that their idea was to make, I can't remember if he said punk or to make rock and roll sexy again. And that's why like all his videos are like really kind of sexy, because he's like
humping the air, and
he was purposely trying to bring sex appeal back to the music genre. That's what he was saying. So which do I like better? Boy, I don't know, I'd probably have to go with his solo stuff, White Wedding.
White Wedding, that's
You
what
know
I
what
was
I
gonna
mean?
say.
That's just shit's amazing. I like Generation X. I grew up a punker, I think the 77-bit, and I think it's really cool that literally like him and Susie and the Sex Pistols and like all these people from all these different bands were like all friends at one point. And there's like some weird picture you can see where they're all hanging out, and then they literally like split off and started all like the most famous bands in the world, essentially. Pretty wild.
It's strange.
Blair's over there dancing with himself.
With himself?
Blair,
camera off.
Camera off. I'm dancing with myself.
Which is fine. I'm all for it.
Hey, that's no problem. Oh, shit.
All right.
Okay.
All right, so we're at the 1 hour. That's generally about the extent of most people's attention span.
Yes, thank you all.
So what did we not cover that you were hoping to get out there tonight?
Me?
Yeah.
You guys invited me. I'm at your beck and call. I hawked my new artwork. I chatted about myself probably more than I should have.
Let me ask you one quick question. Do you have any other bands right now that you're working in contract with or anything like that coming up?
I do actually.
I don't know if you're allowed to talk about it.
I'm going to talk about it because that's what I'm doing. So there's a new digital single from Godthrim that comes out like in the next week or two. And the song's really cool. I think it's going to probably premiere on Decibel. I think they're doing a little thing with them. And there's a t-shirt with it. It's actually, it's a piece of the album and the t-shirt are of this painting I did called Mob Rules, which obviously is Black Sabbath reference. But Chris Seymour has that original.
Oh, wow.
The painting. So so anyway, that's going to be that's coming out in about a week or so. And then Gabriel from Implore, the Century Media band, has kind of like a grind side project kind of thing called Iconostasis. And I have one of my existing pieces for that. So that should be soon. And then Sam from Valenfire has a new I've heard the music, but it's kind of hard to obviously it's the whole Valenfire Paradise Lost kind of group or whatever. So it does have some doomy elements and some kind of like grungy elements. We're doing a cover for them. And I heard there's going to be some kind of well-known names on the production list on there, or the guest list. So that should be pretty cool. And then that Misery thing that's coming out. I didn't do the cover, but a piece of that is in there, and I'm probably forgetting something, but
Chris Whitehead's asking when the next issue of the Phalanx Zine's coming out.
It's never going to come out.
That's when.
When
did the last issue come out?
At a very dark time. I had to just kind of put that to rest. It would just, I don't know, this wasn't working for me. Just had to focus on things that are positive and that I like. So, I'm not a publisher.
Hey, you mentioned that painting and your shirts and stuff are for sale at your website. You have a different website, obviously, than the Facebook stuff. What's that website?
It's my store. So pretty much every painting I do gets as a print, or you can buy the original paintings there. Starting to do a lot of merch, like woohoo. So I have like 3 or 4 shirts on there. and they're through I use a different vendor. Yeah, and you can get as many prints and different sizes as you want. It's
I've got your okay. I've got your Ghostwork art Facebook thing going. Can you link to it through there?
Yeah, I'll put it up there, but that's ghostworksstorenvy.com.
Ghostworksstorenvy.com.
So if the band could be broken up a long time ago, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
If you could do artwork for any band, what would be the band that you're like, this is it? This is
probably Neurosis.
Yeah.
That's where I go with that. I like
you hear that, guys? Steve Von Phil, you watching?
Yeah, no, they're one of the bands that just, I don't know, has always just kind of been with me.
Yeah.
Kind of speaks to me in different ways, and has just kind of been there the whole time. Yeah, I'd love to do like a T-shirt or something. I know they usually get Thomas Hooper to do it, and his stuff's awesome. But yeah, I like a piece of that. So.
Dude, yeah, Neurosis.
Cool.
I can still remember I bought Pain of Mine on cassette at the Jefferson Valley Mall in New York, and just based on the cover, I didn't know anything about them. I was like, that looks cool.
Yeah,
and the cassette was black. Still have it. Popping it into the cassette deck of my grandma's car. Justin was probably with me. I don't know why he wouldn't have been. And I can just remember just that moment on.
It's like
Neurosis, man, and just changing with them and growing with them over the years, man. It feels like I don't know. I think I've said this before, probably not in a broad format like this. Like it was like they're the Black Sabbath of my generation. They're my Black Sabbath. Black Sabbath is my number one, and I put Neurosis right up there.
Yeah, and there's obviously some. They obviously take some heavy cues from them. Even still, probably more so still, but yeah, somebody like that. I'd love to kind of do like I don't know who, but yeah, just kind of some different sort of genres. I'm versatile, so yeah, we'll see. I don't know, but yeah, Neurosis would be probably one of it is the top thing that I would like to get in my portfolio at some point.
Very cool.
I get you. There's a couple other questions come in. Is Brian going to do a deck? I assume a skateboard deck, or are you going to build a deck off your house?
Well, I live in an apartment, so I'm sure the management would not do that.
You should do it. But no, a skateboard deck would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool. And like do some sort of like homage to like those old Zorlak decks or something.
Yeah. What
cool.
other current artists or just artists in general follows it up with?
Well, obviously, like this is probably reference number 7. Always into Nick Blinko. Rob Middleton, obviously from DVD Instinct. Aileron Cantor, who does freaking amazing work lately. He did Testament, Incantation, just killer. John Jesse from Nausea obviously is cool. Mad Mark Rude, Dan Seagrave, Squeal from Icons of Filth. Those are all like the early stuff.
Yeah.
Then new stuff. Well, I guess not all of it's early, but yeah, there's this guy Adrian Baxter. I really like his stuff. Dennis Forkas, he did that Wolves in Throne Room, that kind of stuff. Glenn Smith did like Bacchus and what's that? Sub Rosa out of Utah. Yeah, this dude Agostino Arriva Bene is probably my favorite contemporary artist, just because his shit's just so out there and just so wild. But yeah, and of course like H.R. Giger, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So
you said you made a comment earlier. You're not a publisher, but would you do a book of your art?
I've actually thought about that. I've been published a couple times, and couple books here and there, but it'd be really cool to do my own. A friend of mine, she just did one. She's a photographer, just freaking amazing stuff. And I thought, oh, that's a really cool idea. I don't know if I have enough stuff though for a book, so I'd have to like come up with kind of a theme to kind of like fill it out or something to read. I don't know.
Yeah, you could have a page describing it, then you could have a couple of your sketches in there, and then another painting, and you could fill it out, man. I'm rooting for you, buddy. Yeah, Heather says, "Def do a book of your art."
All right, so I will actually consider that, considering that there's nothing better to do. So why not? Do it. I'm all for it.
Okay. One final here. What
all right.
I'm doing that interview tonight. You started running it through your head. You ran something through your head that you didn't get out tonight?
I think I got it all out. Like, yeah. I don't know. Like, interviews are a little weird because, like, I don't really know what to say. So, and I don't want to be like a salesperson. Be like, here's my stuff.
Right.
But really, here's my stuff. Yeah, no, it was just kind of fun to just kind of go through and, kind of talk kind of non-chronologically, like, hey, here's stuff I've done in the past, and we all know about that, and here's stuff in the future, and we're both still working together, even though I've known you guys for like 20 plus years, which I think it's kind of really kind of cool. I think I was just kind of thinking more of like, hey, this is going to be like just to hang out with friends, whatever, and I mean, it's basically what we do anyway, just there's cameras, so.
Which always makes it a little weird. And like you said earlier, like, is this going to be recorded? Yeah, this will, it's obviously streaming live on Facebook and YouTube, and then the YouTube version is on our YouTube channel to be shared and viewed from the end of this forward.
That's awesome.
I was going to say, for me and you, Brian, this interview is a lot more sober than our last interview we had.
Also true. Yeah. We had a little session.
By the end of that on the thing, and I was listening to it, I'm like, what in the hell are we going on?
Yeah, I think we're getting a little loose with the language there.
Loosey-goosey.
Let's see. Somebody suggests you do a collaboration with Jeremy Hush. So that's an idea too. That if you don't think you could fill a full book, split release, man.
Yeah. I don't know him personally, but I obviously have seen his work, and I know he used to do a bunch of stuff for like Slug and Lettuce and just kind of like old school like crust punk stuff. Yeah, he's super talented. So we'll see.
Can't wait till all this stuff is over and I can run into you at the goth club.
I'm a closet goth, so yeah.
Was that your goth dance?
Yeah, I was dancing, man.
Hey, I wear that Depeche Mode shirt with pride.
Hell yeah, I fucking love Depeche Mode.
Oh, what was I gonna?
You sound like a Chewbacca.
Yeah.
You sound like.
I've never done that before. It was I had something I was gonna say. I can't remember what it was. Justin, what do you have before we peace out?
What's this?
What do you got?
What do I got?
Yeah, last remarks, bud.
Oh, they're like, do I have a disease? Or like, I got chronic pain issues. Then last remarks to Brian. Your artwork rules, man. Thanks for helping me out with that Roic record. Fuck that. As soon as I saw that at that show, I knew that piece was just so cool. I'm just so glad that it was free, or not free, but I'm just so glad that nobody else had used it yet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I protect the usage rights a lot. So
yeah, I mean, that's my third piece of art from you. I can't get enough of your art. Yours is the best shit. Yeah.
You're making me all misty over here.
It's super cool that in Denver we've got an artist like you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Well, there's a lot of really cool artists and a bunch of killer bands, and
I tell people you're from here and they're like, what? No way. They don't even know it.
That's so strange. But yeah, I mean, it's cool.
That was the one thing I was going to say is I don't know if Andy's still on here, but Andy Lefton is on our short list of people to get on here. And,
yeah.
We do. I've been trying to do like 2 a month, but we missed the last one because the 1 week we were going to schedule it was Super Tuesday,
right?
And then the next week I had forgotten all about it because of all the election hangover and drama, and I was like, I'm not prepared, and so then we got on today.
Yeah, no, I think the timing was good. Yeah, you don't want to like compete with the zeitgeist or whatever is going on. So. I was going to ask you. So, what's the deal with the New York Hardcore page? I think that's awesome, by the way.
Oh, the New York Hardcore Chronicles. Yeah. So that was a trip. I just and it was all because of COVID and the lockdown. It was just one day, bored, and I was screwing around online, and I think I followed the page because of the documentary or whatever, and it's like, what is this? They're live streaming something, and then watched and like, this is cool, and they're gonna do another one, and then watched again, and then started taking part in the chat, and then it's like, hey, why don't we jump on board, do a sponsorship thing, and
nice.
And get out there a little bit. So yeah, that's been really fun. It's been really cool. Get to know those dudes a little bit, Drew and Sid the Kid, folks that are on there, Stephen Messina, Hardcore Shutterbug. Yeah, let's get on there with those guys and broadcast, from the other side of the wall. That's at Justin's back right now from the office there. We jump on and talk about some of the new stuff that's coming into the shop and whatever's relevant that week or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been really cool. It's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I like cross pollination. And you see it a lot in town. So it's it's cool. Like I think if I had to be all serious, I think one upside of not going to shows and not hanging out is that you kind of appreciate that when you had it. And I like I like seeing how people are like trying to like diversify and still trying to get people to like, attend a stream like ours or a concert or like a limited edition T-shirt or some box set or just commissioning somebody. And I think there's a lot to be said about and just knowing your kind of weirdo alternative subculture, whatever the hell, we are,
you flip through your social media page or whatever, and there's a lot of people, complaining that there aren't concerts at. I miss this, I miss that. Look, the world's changed. You can sit around and miss all kinds of stuff, or you can lean into it and figure out how you're going to move forward and navigate through the next several months.
Is this the old shit in one hand, wish in the other?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, like I miss this, I miss that. Well, you missed the fucking boat now because we're moving forward, man. That's just the way. We got to figure out different ways to continue to do what we do. Funds. Yeah, how we communicate and how we share within this, this subculture. Got to move forward. We can't be looking in the mirror.
Yeah, no, hey, then the old trope of necessity is the mother of invention. Like, well, can't do anything, so let's just make it out of whole cloth. So, yep, that's kind of I think that's how we're gonna have to move forward. But hopefully, we keep a lot of this kind of interactivity, even when we can go back and congregate the normal way. I think that just kind of opened a lot of opportunities. So I think it's good.
What is it? Friday we entered another level of lockdown here in Colorado. Yeah, so you're gonna have to do something to stay connected and stay creative and keep ourselves sane and, like I said, moving forward.
Yeah, draw skulls and make music.
There you go. Yeah.
Here's the skull I drew.
There it is.
It works for me. Drawing skulls and making skateboards.
I'm actually pretty impressed you did that without like.
Thanks, man.
Super old school silk screen, the skateboard graphic on there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it was hard to do.
Proper. Oh, because it had a little curve to it.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a trick to it. Yeah. A little bit of a little finesse.
All right, let's wrap it up, fellas.
Right. Yeah, thank you guys again.
Justin, thank you, my friend.
Thank you, my brother.
My brother.
I'm your
Hey, we
brother,
can look
not
at
your friend.
Hey, look, yeah, it looks like we're looking at each other.
What's up,
Hey,
dude?
what's up, dude?
Look down,
and Brian, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your art with us and sharing your creativity with us and sharing some laughs, man. And like you said, we've all known each other for probably over 20 years at this point, and it's cool that everybody is still involved and doing their thing, man.
Yeah, it's cool. It's fuel for life.
And thanks for watching, everybody.
That was the name of the Turbo Judas Priest tour, the Fuel for Life tour.
See?
Yeah,
dialed in.
All right, fuel
later,
for
man.
life, fuel for later. See you guys.
Yes.
Have a good night, everybody.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Peace.